So Capcom have announced the new DLC characters for Street Fighter 6 a few weeks ago. And once again, Capcom have kept up the trend of two characters I don't really care much about and two characters that I think are great. And I am thrilled because there's one character in particular that I think is just incredible. Another character that I am glad has returned. And then the other two characters, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. First of all, I'd like to say for Elena, I'm glad she's in Street Fighter 6. I think Capcom have done a phenomenal job with her. As long as she had her healing, I'd be happy. And she does have her healing. It's relegated to her level 2 super, which, whatever, that's a fair compromise, I guess, after her Street Fighter 4 rendition. But Capcom have done such a phenomenal job with all the DLC characters. They're all really interesting, and they've done a great job. No DLC characters are lame, like Kage from Street Fighter 5. But the new DLC characters that are coming out, I'm sure will be just as cool. And we're starting off with one of my favorite characters in the history of fighting games, Sagat. Sagat is a character that goes all the way back to Street Fighter 2. Technically, the first Street Fighter game, actually, but he was playable for the first time in Street Fighter 2. I believe it was the Champion Edition he was first playable in. And of course, his most infamous version is Super Turbo, in which he is the best character in the game, at least the one that isn't banned. Or I should say, he's the second best, but the best overall is banned competitively, and that's Akuma. But I love Sagat, and I cannot wait to hit somebody with a Tiger Uppercut. I'm just curious, though, is he still going to be like as slow as he has been recently? I mean, I understand you can't have somebody like Sagat be extremely fast, but, you know, it'll be really cool to see, and I'm curious if his Tiger Shot's going to be among the best projectiles in the game, but I'm sure it will, but I love Sagat. And speaking of a character that I think is really interesting, a character that I'm happy to see return because Capcom pushed her off to the side. I'm talking about C. Viper, Crimson Viper herself. She was created for Street Fighter 4, and she also appeared in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which some people seem to forget, but it is a true story. C. Viper is a character that I've always thought is very interesting. And she, from what I remember in Street Fighter 4, as I said, it's been a while since I played 4, she was a very execution-heavy character. Like, she was kind of difficult to play. And I understand that Street Fighter 6 is simplified a little bit. It's not as complicated as it once was. I'm just curious if she's still going to be like a really hard-to-play, like, high-execution character. I just hope that in Street Fighter 6, she's still high execution. I want her to be a character that you really have to practice to be good at. That's what I want, because that's how she was in Street Fighter 4. Even, like, if I remember correctly, even some of her basic combos, like her bread and butter stuff, was kind of difficult to do. And that's what was so enthralling about C. Viper, was the fact that she was kind of hard to play. I never played her in Marvel 3, so I couldn't say anything. I was too busy playing Phoenix. But I love C. Viper, and I love the fact that she's included in Street Fighter 6. So I can't wait to see what Capcom does with her, and especially the Jury stuff. I can't wait for that either, because her and Jury have a bit of history. And then next up, we have the next two characters. Ingrid from Capcom Fighting Jam, or Fighting Evolution, depending on what part of the world you live in. Interesting, to say the least. I mean, we really could have had Sakura, you know, or Makoto, or somebody. They give us Ingrid from Capcom Fighting Evolution. And then they give us Alex from Street Fighter 3, which I think Alex is alright. When it comes to Street Fighter 3 characters, you know, we could have had Dudley. Dudley would have been awesome, but whatever, that's just my wish list. Alex, I think, is pretty cool. I would say he is the lamest character that they could have picked. I'm not a fan of Alex, sorry, but there are a lot of really big Alex fans out there who think he's really cool. And, you know, I'm glad that they get Alex. They get their favorite character in the game, and that's nice. I just don't care for Alex. Ingrid, however, is a character that is very divisive in Street Fighter's fandom. Some people love her, some people think she's just weird and she doesn't fit that overall tone because she's like a magical girl. I think Ingrid would be awesome. Ingrid, I don't know. But I think Ingrid would be cool. I'm sure Capcom will make her interesting because they've done a great job of doing that thus far. Even a character you thought was kind of lame is interesting in Street Fighter 6, so that's nice. So Capcom have kept up the trend of two characters I think are cool and two characters I don't care about. In the first season, I thought Akuma was really cool, and I thought Aki was really cool. To be honest, Aki is my favorite character in Street Fighter 6, gameplay-wise. And I did not care for Ed, and I did not care for M. Bison. I don't know why they brought Bison back. Tekken did the same thing with Heihachi, whatever. And then in season 2, you had Elena, awesome. Mai, awesome. Terry, okay, Terry's alright. I can't hate on Terry. I can't. Buster Wolf and all that. And then there was Rashid. And Rashid, he's cool, I guess. He's not my particular favorite character. And then in season 3, I think Sea Viper's awesome. Sagat's awesome. Ingrid, or Ingrid, I'm not sure you pronounce her name. Ingrid might be cool. And then there's Alex.